What's your expectations for 2311 this year? New building. So a lot of new around 2311. Where are we going this year?
I mean, our expectations is to continue to get better, and that's a very vague statement. Just 2 cars in the playoffs. That is way too modest for what we have going on there. So, my goal would be to have at least both cars in the final 8. So that is my goal. That continues to move us to that trajectory of having a car in the final 4 within 5 years. So,
what changes this year to get you to that goal?
There's been a few changes. We've just added some more resources here and there. I think obviously being in a new building, there's a lot to gain with that. I think I've said many times that this building was built for the employees. It's very employee friendly. We added just people, some engineering staff. Got some great tools and stuff that we're working on towards the future. So I just think that they've got everything that they need to go out there and compete for race wins every single week. I'd say that whatever the expectations are of a Joe Gibbs racing car, I don't understand why we would move our goals any lower than that. I know it bugged me a little bit when I watched the Netflix thing, and Bubba, he's always got this chip on his shoulder, and he says, "We're not supposed to be here." I was like, "Yeah, you are." I expect you to be here. I mean, there might be, just because a few fans don't think you're good enough personally to get there, you absolutely have everything that it takes to be, a top 10 point guy. And then you figure out how to get a little bit better every single year, and then you start chipping away. Okay, I'm going to make the final 8 this year. Then I'm going to figure out, okay, where's my weaknesses? Let's go work on that, and then I'm going to get my way into the final 4. So it's a slow and steady progression for sure. But as a team owner, I expect my guys to compete for race wins each and every week, because I believe that we give them the resources to do that.
That's why, like, Booty on Netflix said, we're not the little engine that could. Like, he kind of had, like, the opposite mentality.
Yeah, we're not an underdog. This is not an underdog team anymore, for sure. And so patting ourselves on the back for running in the top 10, I don't mean to be the tough guy, but, like, that's very modest goals for our teams. I think that I expect them to contend for wins and top 5s on a regular basis, not just be happy with running 10th or 12th. That's too, that bar is just too low.
Yeah, I mean, when you started this team,
too high, I should say.
When you started,
too low. I'm backwards. I'm thinking if you're doing the limbo, the bar is too low. That means it's too hard. But the bar is higher. It's easier.
Right. This is how I felt about the number game. Like, are they higher or below? Well, they're below. Yeah. Or they higher? Yeah. When you started 2311, you said your goal was a 5-year plan to be a championship contending team. I mean, you're close to that. We're in year 4.
Yeah. Again, it's last year, I think that they barely exceeded the expectations that I set for them. Obviously, I'm publicly kind of setting expectations here now. But it's not just as easy as numbers on a page either. Certain stats and stat columns, it's hard to pin your success or failures based off of what happens in a stat column, right? So I think that, let me think about Kevin Harvick, for instance. Was that 2020 won 10 races but didn't make the final 4? For whatever reason. It could be, I think there was a wreck at Texas, a few other things. Like, you give me a 10-race win season and not make the final 4, probably going to say, all right, I'm good with that.
Well, yeah, it gets you to 60 wins. You would say
I
yes.
mean, you know what I'm saying? So are the championships the same? No, they're not. Wins, man. Wins. Like, those are the guys that you're talking about. I mean, poor Blaney got cut out of the damn New York Knicks photo, right? It's like they didn't care about who is the champion, right? It's just like, so it's just different, right? And so I think that show that you can be a contender every single week, and that's going to be your elite group for sure.
Are we going to get a tour of the 2311 building sometime soon?
We are. I don't know when we'll open to the public. We're trying to finish up a few final touches before we do that. It certainly will be open before Charlotte Week, I would imagine. But yeah, there's just some final touches and things that we want to live in there for a little bit as well, for a little while, kind of understand where everything's at, kind of understand the flow, before we open it up to the public. But there'll be, like 3 different viewing areas that you'll be able to see the shop floor on, a great interactive screen that people will be able to check out. There's actually more viewing areas, 5. So you'll be able to look in like to our engine room where they're putting the engines together. You'll be able to see into all kinds of different rooms that you've never been able to see at a race shop before. So very, very cool that how it's all laid out, and excited for the people to see it, but we're just not ready to show the inside quite yet.
Do you have a favorite part of the building?
Probably his apartment office.
That's not done yet. Yeah, me and Michael's ownership lounge, I guess you could say. That part's not done yet. That'll be a couple months. They're about to start on it. We didn't need that to build cars, so we made sure all the shop floor, engineering, business wing, all that stuff was done first. Probably my favorite part is the cafe/game room, if I had to guess. Like that, just the feel of it. A lot of greenery. I spent a lot of time on ladders putting up greenery in that area. It's just I enjoyed being hands-on in the process. So actually, one of our employees, Mike LaRusso, he says, "I'm not calling you Denny Downer anymore. I'm calling you Detail Denny." Because he says you just walk through here and start picking apart things that you want to tweak or want to, this, that, and the other. I'm like, I know. I wish I could let go of some things and just kind of say it's good enough, but it's just not in my blood.
Yeah, that was a neat perspective to see of you in the Netflix show. Is when they filmed you in the.
Yeah. It's just hard to explain, and when you get to see the inside, you understand how much detail is in there. It's just amazing. I'm so happy with the way it turned out. Employees are ecstatic with it. I love that. Just getting the man. I appreciate this. This is amazing. I feel like I'm working at a 5-star hotel. Like that to me, it makes that so rewarding, knowing how much time I've put into that facility. So I love it for the employees, and hopefully we get a return on the investment by the results that we see on the racetrack. When you kind of digest this whole Chastain Larson thing, you definitely have to go back earlier